That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. It is Drinks with Dee Dee.
And John.
What are you wearing?
Hey, it's Halloweener today.
It's
Well,
what?
Halloweener.
It's Halloweener
It
today?
could be Halloweeny.
Well, a lot of people call it Halloween.
Yeah, that too. Or All Hallows Eve. We're
All
outside,
Hallows
so you
Eve.
never know what's going to happen, especially
Look how
since it's
beautiful it is
Halloween.
back there. My gosh, what a fantastic day. It's gorgeous here in Madison, Indiana.
Autumn, celebrating.
The only thing would be better if
Halloween.
we could get a maybe next week we'll try to get one of those tugboats to go by.
See what
Because
you
that
can
is,
do.
of course, the Ohio River, and on the other side we're looking at beautiful Kentucky. And that's why I call this Indiucky.
It's Kentuckiana. That's what everybody calls it. John is the
Everybody
only
is
one.
wrong. And by the way, I want you to know that if everyone you talk to disagrees with you, it doesn't mean you're wrong.
That's true.
It could mean they're wrong.
But I think Kentuckiana sounds so much nicer. I don't like Indiucky.
Okay,
If it's
all right.
Indy anything, it's Indy-tucky.
That's absurd. Indiucky.
Well, okay.
So here is to you on Halloween,
Happy
which
Halloweener.
is when it,
All right, happy
was it-
Halloween.
it was a favorite. Oh, we have motorcycles going by.
Of course we do.
I wonder if they're ghoulish motorcycles. Wah! Oh, they're really going by. They'd be coming right. They just go right by, right here,
They will.
right here. But what did you used to? Well, we're not far from where you trick or treated as a child.
All through southern
How
Indiana.
cool is that? She's
Kentuckiana.
still trick or treating in the same place that she trick or treated when you were. I'm trying to figure out the past tense. When you were a little one.
Well, I still do it. It's still fun. So John and I are trying
One
to
second.
figure out.
AP,
You and me,
generally,
Halloweeny.
and Victory.
And Victory.
Victory.
You know it's coming up, folks.
Oh, my
next
gosh.
week in a matter of days.
It's a matter of days. I hope you voted. Okay, if you haven't voted yet,
Got
you
it
certainly. Oh,
Drink.
Victory. Because it's bad luck to be
Yeah, and
superstitious.
it's really superstitious today.
Bad luck to be
The
superstitious.
veil is supposed to be thinner, and some people don't like
What
that.
is this
They think,
veil thin stuff? What does that mean?
well, some people, they're like, oh, that's not right. You shouldn't think that way. Well, what do you know and what do we know? I mean, I think it's good to be open-minded, but the veil is supposed to be
Obviously,
where...
look at your hat.
I love this hat.
I
It's
do
great.
too.
And I've got a green one too, but I thought, obviously, today...
Just before we started the show, she came out here on the porch, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you look beautiful." And I said, "I feel bad. I'm not dressed up in any kind of costume." And she said, "Don't be silly."
He is Bo Duke. You'll always be
I thought
Bo
I
Duke.
was going, and with this look, I thought I was going for Wild Jack, but you don't know that.
No, it's Stingy Jack. Okay, All Hallows Eve, so it started with the Irish apparently, or that's what you read about.
Why is it
And
Stingy
it started
Jack?
with Stingy Jack because Stingy Jack would like go and take stuff. So they made the jack-o'-lanterns. Remember, we watched this.
Okay, all
They
right.
made
Here,
the
look up
jack-
at your camera so I can see your pretty
they
eyes.
made. Thank you. They made the jack-o'-lanterns out of potatoes and turnips in Ireland. But when they came over here, obviously pumpkins are better, bigger, beautiful, and I love pumpkins. It's so much fun. So they would start making jack-o'-lanterns to scare away Jack. Skeleton.
Right, to get rid of
The
Stingy
pumpkin
Jack.
king, because it's Jack the skeleton, the pumpkin king. All kinds of fun Halloween stuff because you
Fun stuff.
start
I didn't
doing
know
this
that.
as a kid. Well, Tim Burton's the Halloween, Christmas,
the
Nightmare
Before Christmas. That was great.
So I love that because it's a combo of Halloween and Christmas. However, I'm very big about the seasons as well as I'm very big about holidays. So it's Christmas is last, Thanksgiving before that, Halloween before that. So
Oh, we've
keep
got to
them in
show
order.
that picture that Gary and Susan sent.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Okay,
We
this
want-
was
yeah.
this was a picture. We'll show it right now. Gary and Susan are friends of ours in Georgia and North Carolina. They're in both. Are they South Carolina? Anyway, they're in one of the
I
Carolinas.
thought Georgia. Oh no,
Well,
they're
yeah, but
Georgia.
the
they work in
lake
Georgia,
house.
and maybe I think it's North
Yeah,
Carolina.
but we were there and we saw this. It's in the yard. Well, anyway, they took a picture of this great thing that kind of says it all with regard to the mixing up or the what do you call it when you
Well, basically, no.
we shouldn't have Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas
started at
ornaments out
Lowe's.
at the same time.
This started last week when John and I went to Lowe's to get a few things because we're fixing up our place here in
Is that
Madison.
our car? Is someone stealing our car?
So,
Okay.
but they had all the Christmas stuff out. Everybody's like, oh, they've had that out for 3 weeks. And I'm like, it's not even Halloween yet. That's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
So
they
we don't
shouldn't
like
do that.
So
Christmas in July, I understand. I think Christmas in July is kind of a cool thing. Yes, it's a sales thing, but you know it's really hot, and you kind of like to feel like it's not. So
Yeah, but you
you
don't
turn on
forget
your
it-
air conditioner extra heavy, and you pretend it's Christmas in July.
now you hear
That's the first
That
time
guy-
I've heard that here.
you can feel it. It's like,
You
you
can.
know, whenever they do the, like,
Oh no!
I like
So
the
I
bells.
grew. For whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. So I grew up not far from Sleepy Hollow.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I
I
love
didn't
the
grow up
story.
not far from the movie. I grew up not far from
Well, the story's
Sleepy
great.
Hollow, the actual place.
Yeah, the story's great, and the place is wonderful.
It is. It's beautiful. It's on the Hudson River, and in fact, my brother and my sister-in-law, long time ago, had a cat, a beautiful, big, lazy cat named Ichabod.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that a great name for a cat?
Did you call him Icky like you do into Yucky?
Doesn't matter what you call a cat. They don't come when you
They
call
don't
them
care.
anyway. They don't
Oh,
care.
that's true. They kind of ignore you.
Yeah. How do you make a cat yawn? Call it. Ichabod.
No, nothing to do with you.
So we used
Remember
to
when we voted? There was a black cat there. Remember, I've got that picture. We can maybe post that.
the little black little.
I
It
don't
wasn't
think-
real. It
I
was a
wasn't.
little.
Yeah, but I don't think I was supposed to take pictures when we're in even
What
in line
happens
to
when
vote,
the
but I
bell
did it.
strikes 20? What does that mean
It's
here?
noon.
We've got to ask. It's not. Noon is 12. We've got to ask. Okay, there. We have to
That
ask
had to
Mayor
be
Bob.
noon.
There's another Mayor Bob. It's the Mayor Bob here, who plays in a band, a tribute band. Right? Anyway,
And we missed it.
We
It's
did.
called like the Zombies or something.
Not
like
the
that.
Zombies, no,
No,
it,
it's not. But what
the-
is it, like Shock Effect or something like that? But the mayor here is really,
He's wonderful.
he's
Wonderful.
really amazing. And so is Mayor Bob Schneider. So
Right, my
we've been
brother,
yes,
Mayor Bob.
He's a mayor and he's great. He is central casting.
My brother?
Yes, he is like, I don't want to say grumpy because he's not grumpy.
No, he's not grumpy.
He's authoritative in a fun way, but like I don't know how to tell me he's your brother. What is the word you would use to describe him?
Frazier.
Yeah. See, now Fraser's not grumpy either, but
No,
he
he's not.
Is,
But he's.
what is that? You know, but he's authoritative and it's funny and witty, and he
He's
doesn't
serious.
care if he offends anyone. And it's funny when you're a straight man like that and you offend people. But
Well, he kind of buys into our theory that if you're going to be a mess, then you should be a Lamborghini upside down on the side of the road on fire.
yeah, that's
You know, be something.
if you're
that
going to be
people-
something, do it.
Be
it.
something that you can't not look at.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I mean, I get it a little bit, honey. But
Can I
you
go
know,
back to my story?
Yes, and then I'll try to
About-
remember. Remind me. It's about
Remind you what you
My
were talking
hats.
about? I have no idea. Oh, your hat. Well,
Yeah.
that's not
And
going to
your
be.
hair.
So when I was a kid, we used to we trick or treated. There I go again. But we had Mount Kisco, Katona, Bedford Hills. We had this whole area that we would go to, and it wasn't that everybody knew everybody, but everybody was. There was a sense of community in the '60s and '70s that I think cell phones have kind of been the enemy of. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is even in the '60s and '70s, our parents would tell us to be careful, right, when we went out because kids do silly things. But nowadays, especially with the influx of the criminals we've had over the last 3.5 years, and especially over the last year, with these Venezuelan gangs, I want you to be very, very careful. I don't want to put a damper on Halloween, but even when I was 10 years old, the candies were always wrapped up. We were sometimes we were told to be careful of, and parents were told, we love that you bake cookies, but cookies aren't wrapped, and But the thing that we had to look for.
We weren't careful at all. They're like, just go do it and come
Yeah,
back
I'm sure.
eventually.
Well, here, you live in, this is the most
Yeah.
beautiful place in the world.
Nobody's
This truly
gonna
is
do anything
America's
here.
Main Street. But even in the 60s and 70s, we had to check apples especially. Well, I've written a bunch of
For
scripts.
razor blades?
This is a saying that I have, and that I say, when something sounds too good to be true, I'll say there's a razor blade in that apple somewhere.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Because that was the thing that the bad people did way back when. But you could always tell because you just look at the apple, and if you saw a little straight
would
line on
someone
the
do
apple,
that?
you'd cut it
Why?
out. I don't know why
So
bad people.
horrific.
I have no idea why bad people do what they do. But this year especially, remember we've had this fentanyl crisis
Right.
again, related to our lack of a southern border, or our lack of the authority being given to our border patrol to actually do their job. So we don't need more border patrol agents. We need to allow our border patrol agents to do what they do, which is turn people away, not just
That are not
process
Americans.
people, not
Look,
just
this
process
isn't
people.
hard. I am so over people being like, oh, well, they're American.
We're a melting pot and all
But
that. Yes, of
yeah,
course
and-
we're a
and-
melting pot.
but not-
But you had
they're
to take
not
a
Americans.
test. When you came through Ellis
they're
Island, you had to take a
humans.
test.
We've got to be human. We've got to be nice to everybody. Well, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
but
be
we should
nice.
not be stupid.
Waving to send them back to where they came
Oh, like
from.
that guy from Madison Square Garden. We welcome you with open arms. No, but
If they do it the right way.
absolutely.
Hey,
Well, but
come
what
on
has
in
happened?
if
What
you
has
do it the
happened
right
lately?
way.
I promise you, I'm going to get back to my point. But what has happened lately is this administration, in my opinion, has made the right way the wrong way, because they're not vetting these people at all. Even
Not
Bill
at all.
Clinton said, well, maybe if they'd been properly vetted, that this never would have happened.
Right, of course.
Right? Of course, it wouldn't have happened. Not to say that the only bad people we have in the country are the people who just got here illegally. That's not what I'm saying.
But they're not
But I
vetted.
want to go back. I want to go back to right. They're not vetted.
That's the
I
problem.
want to go back to the point wherever you are, especially if you're in any of the hot zones right now. If you live in Aurora, Colorado, if you live in is it
Springfield,
Ohio. If you live near San Francisco, if you live in San Francisco, if you live in Portland, if you live in Chicago, churches do this wonderful thing called trunk or treat, and they'll have families will come to the church and they will have their trunks open with candy in there. Okay, so it's a good idea. It's also a good idea to
sounds
have
like a
your
city folk
your
thing.
children only frequent your neighborhood. Right? And again, I don't want to put a damper on it, but my understanding of the fentanyl crisis is that all you have to do is touch
touch it.
something
And like maybe
that has it on there. Like some of the bad guys that were selling fentanyl actually died from fentanyl poisoning because there was fentanyl residue on the bills. Okay? So another thing to look for, mom and dad, and especially if you've got little ones, your kids are the age where you actually go to the door to trick or treat with them, then be aware. Gosh, I sound like such a downer, but my God, if somebody at the door is wearing rubber gloves to hand you a baked good, don't take it. Say, we're gluten free or we're something. I don't know, but I sure would love a Hershey bar. Just be very careful. Pray over your children. Today, tonight, pray over them always, but especially right now, because we are living in some pretty dangerous times.
Well,
and
that's why
now
it's so
my
lovely to be
really,
here.
it's lovely to be here. It's lovely to be in a small town
Safe
anywhere. But
place.
my really cautious self. I don't want there to be some terrible crisis that happens because it's Halloween. That the Biden administration has to get involved in and has any degree of success because they were able to fix, to some extent, a problem that they caused in the first place.
May I change the subject?
Yes.
Because it really is a downer. So what's your favorite Halloween candy?
I still love a Heath bar.
Wow, those are good.
Love
are
a
good.
Heath bar. We used to have a marathon bar that was kind of braided.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Braided
those were good.
caramel or caramel.
Not for
whatever.
me, but I loved that because they were really long and they just looked kind of cool.
Well, and they were good. But when I was a kid, when you bit into one, you pulled it and it kind of was like
Right.
But I've had one recently, and it's like you bite into it, it goes stoop. So whatever used to be in there that made it a chewy, gooey, delightful thing is not there anymore.
So, do you like candy corn?
I knew you were going to say candy corn. Mm-hmm. I hated candy corn as a kid, but I like candy corn now.
Oh yeah, I've never liked it. I love how it
You
looks.
still don't like it?
No, I love how. Well, I don't
I
like
thought
sweets.
you were going to say it was her favorite.
No, I don't like sweets anyway.
Oh, my favorite is carrot.
Is
I'm
what?
kidding. A carrot. I'm kidding.
But I tell you, I love pumpkins. I love orange. I've worn orange probably every other day in October, right?
Orange cars matter.
Orange cars matter. Oh my gosh,
Orange
I totally
man
look
matters.
like the General
Orange
Lee
man
Witch.
matters. You need an O. You have the O. You just need a 1.
Here's the one. Look, 01. And I didn't even plan
Okay,
it.
got it. Wow,
01.
that's pretty great. So what's your favorite candy? You mean you formulated that question and didn't have an answer for it?
Well, I sort of have an answer. I keep going back to Almond Joy because I do love those.
I do love almond joy.
Because they've got a nut in it and the coconut, so it's not that sweet. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Oh,
Mounds.
that was a sister or brother candy.
Sometimes
Mounds
you
and
feel-
almond joy. When we went to the movie theater, we would get both of them.
Popcorn's
Yeah,
good for
yeah.
Halloween too.
I used to love that popcorn balls. That's a Christmas thing, right?
I think you're
Kind of
right.
held together
Yeah.
with marshmallows. No, I'm not sure. Somebody write in and tell us, Tony, how do you make the popcorn?
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you
What
feel
about
like
Reese's
a nut.
peanut butter? 2 great tastes in 1 candy bar. Reese's peanut butter cup. You got peanut butter on my chocolate. You got chocolate on my peanut butter.
Those were
These are
great
commercials I
commercials.
watched when I was a kid.
No, but those are great commercials. Those candy commercials are good. The Mars family, they're one of the richest families in the world because they make candy.
Because they're from Mars.
But what a great job to make candy. I mean, we have a great job because we make liquor. Not everybody drinks it, but it does make a lot of people happy, so I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Even for the naysayers, that's okay. And you don't have to drink. It's just, we're in that business. And we do get comments
All I got, if
sometimes.
it was bad, then Jesus would have turned wine into water. That's all I'm saying about it. He didn't. Did he turn wine into water? No.
No.
He turned water
into wine. So we have a wine company, we have a liquor company, and we're going to do all the liquors. And if you don't drink, that's fine. Because we're thinking about getting into feel-good water as well. Remember, we talked about that yesterday.
Feel good water as well. Yeah, I forget what we were going to call that. We shouldn't say it because somebody will steal
Somebody
that.
will steal
It's
it.
better than smart water. It's a better name than smart water.
Totally. No, it'll be way better. I mean, it could be happy water. I kind of like that. When is it that the Native
Happy
Americans would
water.
say fire water?
Fire water. Fire water.
But-
That's what I said in
we
in
probably-
To Die For. I thought fire water made you people crazy.
Boy, I love that
Is
actor.
it,
That actor's great. It was nice to meet him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
played your neighbor, and when you were so mean to him, and you're like, how?
I wasn't mean to him.
You were
I was
totally mean to him. You didn't like each other.
Mark Anthony
He's great.
is his name.
That guy's
Mark
great.
Anthony is great.
But Halloweener. So we talked about our favorite candy, and I'm sure you all have yours. And I just wanted to thank our friends who will comment on the show because you always give so
If
many.
I tied your hand down, would you be able to speak?
I'm not Italian, even though.
I don't know. I mean, it was like you were kneading dough over there. And I do not want a wet willy.
He beat me to it.
I
Are
did.
you sure you don't want a wet willy?
I'm sure I do not want a wet willy. Okay, so you were talking about candy.
Yes. I was talking about candy, but also with Halloweener. It's like, what?
Did you
are
call
there-
it that when you were a kid?
Yes, always.
She's still a kid. She's a
So I love it. So, and then people dress up. It's so much fun to see that. And okay,
kid. I just want to do a test. Don't see. You stop talking
okay. So I'm gonna keep my hand down here.
and say nothing.
So
when
I
you were a
cannot
kid,
wait. I cannot wait to see all the little goblins and I did it again. The goblin. Here, hold my hand then.
That's
all
not the hand you're talking with.
I know, but I want to hold your hand anyway.
That's
I miss
not
you.
the hand you're talking
I
with.
miss you.
You miss me. How can you miss me? I'm right here.
It's like I wasn't able to hold your hand. Is that
No,
like a
no, stop it. You're like Buzz Lightyear. Stop it. Don't do that. Would you please finish your thought?
When you wear the snaps
Usually I
on
can't
your
finish
shirt,
one. Yes, I know, but that's not what
I
you're
know.
talking about. You're
Okay.
talking about Halloween and when you were a kid and when you did stuff
No,
like...
but I mean it's going to be fun because tonight all the Groovy Ghoulies, or remember that the Groovy Ghoulies?
Sounds like something off of Gosh, Shaggy. Or Scooby-Doo.
Kind of.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Okay, what are the Groovy...
Where are you?
What are the Groovy
And
Ghoulies?
we know Scooby-Doo.
What are the Groovy-
personally?
What are the Groovy Ghoulies going to do?
No, I love it when they're like this tall and they and they dress up and all this stuff. I cannot wait because tonight we're just going to sit back and watch.
What do you think the kids are going to be dressed up as this time? We're not really...
I don't know, but we're
we
going to
don't really
take
pay
video.
attention to what the kids are watching these. I bet there's going to be a lot of Beetlejuice again.
I agree. And
Going to be a
we
resurgence of
love that.
Beetlejuice. By the way, Luke and Jenny just won first place the second year in a row.
John beat me to it.
I did.
Luke, not Luke Duke, but Luke.
No, Luke,
our guy.
Luke, our guy.
Merchandise guy.
That you know
Store
really
guy.
well. Store guy, merch guy on the road, great guy. They did Beetlejuice and
Beetlejuice. I mean, you know, the Winona Ryder character.
Winona Ryder character, right? God, I forget her name in the movie.
I need to.
Anyway,
Because it's all about Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
So that was fun, and they didn't say it, but I think it was homage to our wedding and our union because they were so happy we got married. They said, we're so happy for you. We've never seen John so happy. He's so great. We're having a ball. So they dressed up like Beetlejuice, and they won again.
And your friends say the same thing.
Yes,
They do.
they do.
We're gonna have dinner with a couple of your
Scooby,
friends.
Scooby-Doo,
Oh, we did that.
where
That's
are
right.
you? I know, but what's another Halloweener song? Okay, it doesn't matter.
They played the mash.
They
played
played
the
the
monster
oh,
mash.
good
The
one.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They played the mash. You'll catch on in a flash. It's all the mash. It's called the monster mash. Wow. Out from his coffin, Drax's voice did sing.
Wow.
Seemed he was troubled by just one thing.
Wow.
Opened the lid, shook his fist, and said,
Wow.
"Whatever happened to the Transylvania twist?"
It is a
Anyway,
mash.
so we did, by the way, we talked last week about going and watching horror films. We
Oh, man,
watched
so much fun.
Frankenstein, The Mummy, and Dracula. We watched all three of those in one night. They're pretty short movies.
They
end
are.
poorly. It's
I
like in
love
those
them.
days.
I don't care.
It's
I
like
love
in
it.
those days when the movie was over. It's like they told the story and it was like, that's it.
I love it. I
The
love
couple
how they're
kisses
done.
each other. They say, "Let's get a cup of coffee," and that's it. The end.
But we both
They kill
like-
Dracula off camera, by the way. You know, he takes the stake from the top, which is interesting to me because maybe it had to be Transylvanian wood. I don't know, but he tore up the lid to the coffin, and then he grabbed a piece of the coffin and then he put it on Bela Lugosi's chest and went like this. And of course, they cut away to something else, and you heard "Oh!" off in the distance. I felt kind of cheated by that.
I disagree with you. We loved The Mummy. The Mummy was fabulous.
Tell you what, The
No
Mummy,
doubt about
I
it.
had never actually seen The Mummy. I have been aware,
God.
I've been aware of
I
Frankenstein,
watch
The
it
Mummy.
every year. It's
I don't
so
know
good.
that I ever saw any of those movies in their entirety. I think I've only seen clips. So do yourself a favor.
Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow, sometime in the next week or so, watch Frankenstein, The Mummy, and Dracula.
It's so good. Oh
And then
my
tell
gosh.
us what you think was the
Well,
best
maybe
one.
it's because I'm sort of a
The Mummy was amazing.
Oh, so good. Boris Karloff was a mummy, but they got
Well,
like
he was Artemis
Artist Bay.
Artist or Artemis? Artist Bay.
No, that's not even right. Artist. Is it Artist Bay? Darn it.
Artist.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm not sure what it is.
Aldous?
Artist Bay.
I think it was Artist Bay. It's wonderful.
You all will figure it out because you all are so great. And whenever we talk about things, we've got some folks that go through every single topic we talk about, and they're so smart. You
And that's
all are
hard
so
to do
smart.
when they're topics she's talking about.
Right. But The Mummy was great.
It's like trying
Frank-
to catch a fly.
Yeah, but Frankenstein was awesome too. You like that,
Yeah,
right?
it was, and I forgot how incredibly pathetic is not the right word, but kind of the monster throughout was very, very human, or very, what is the word? It's not pathetic. Relatable, sad.
People felt sorry for the monster.
Yeah, it was, but right away, man, I felt sorry. I had forgotten that he actually threw the little girl in the water.
Now that was very controversial.
I
at the
thought
time.
she fell in, but I forgot.
Oh
But he was,
no! Frankenstein took the little girl and threw
well,
her
she
in
was,
the water.
she was beautiful
thinking
like
the
a
little
flower.
girl was a flower, and he didn't mean it. And it was just. And then the villagers just went after him with the torches and ended up at the windmill and
Killed the
burned-
monster, and they burned him alive. They burned him.
And Dr. Frankenstein, what? No, was it?
Yeah,
Dr.
that's who
Frankenstein
he threw down.
joined in, and he was with it. We have to kill the monster. So, weirdly, you sort of end up feeling sorry for the monster, but also,
Well, no, Frankenstein was with him up in the top of the windmill,
right?
trying
but,
to stop him, and they
Right.
fought, and he threw him out, and he landed on the windmill, and yeah.
but he agreed with the villagers and everybody that he was a threat. The
Well,
monster he
but Papa
created.
Frankenstein did. Yeah. It was much
It was
deeper
really
than
good.
I had remembered.
I mean, I watch it every year, forever. So I watch all of these every year, and if I don't, it's very upsetting if I don't get to do that.
So well, good. Then you
So
had a good year.
no, but it was fun for me because we watched it with my mom and Mike and my stepdad, and then
It was great,
John and I, and we all had the monster movie experience, and everyone.
and we watched all three of them.
We watched all three of them, and I love Dracula. John doesn't, but I do. I love Dracula. I think it's great.
The one line in Dracula that was great was
I never drink wine.
He was great. But
Well-
they did the eye trick in all three movies. The special effects, close shot.
But you know what? I think if you watch Dracula first,
Let's do that again, right? Both into the, in
Yeah.
the same. Ready? They did it. We're
I think the key is to watch Dracula first. Because you think it's a little slower, but if you watched it first, I think you would have loved it. I mean, look, watching.
Yeah.
Really, the better thing to do is to
I wonder
watch
how they
one
made them.
every
I
night.
think it was Frankenstein, then the Mummy, then I think that's how they made them.
I'm
The
just
thing
saying
that bugged
now.
me about Dracula was they had like comic relief. I had the people that talk like that. Oh well, I'm what flip
It
flop.
was awesome. What are you talking about?
Well, they didn't have
Remember
comic
when-
relief in it because it's a pretty serious subject.
Look, your horror movies always have comic relief, mister. Hello, Anderson Bench. And,
I guess there's comic
The-
relief in
the-
Anderson, but
this
Smothered
one,
is all
Smothered.
comic relief.
well, hello. And you're
Yeah,
complaining
and I
about
guess
that.
in
You do it.
in Four to Go, one of my favorite lines I ever wrote, the kidnapped girl says, and she was on Walking Dead for a long time after that, but she said, "You're really not very good bad guys." I thought that was pretty cool.
So, see, you do it. They just started.
I
it.
do, I know. It was just the whole Cockney thing.
I
It
just
kinda-
think by
but
the
it
end
might
of the
be where it
night,
might
you
be
were
where Bert was
weary.
born.
Next year.
I didn't know we were going to watch all three at once.
Next year, what we'll do is we'll watch one a night, and it'll be way more better.
I want to watch House of Wax.
Oh, that's good.
And I'll bet you could get House of Wax with 3D glasses. Because that was, I believe, the
That's a
first 3D
great
movie
movie.
made. Vincent Price.
That's a great movie too.
Yeah.
And the werewolf. I mean,
What?
the werewolf.
Oh,
That's
Werewolf.
good too.
Lon Chaney.
Yeah, that was good too.
No, I don't believe I've seen that whole one either.
Really?
No.
Well, maybe we can get that in before Halloween, or
That's
meaning
tonight.
like right now. Like,
don't think
when
so.
we get off this porch, we'll
I don't think we can watch
Yeah,
it before.
probably not.
I don't think it's going to be hard to watch that before now.
agree. Okay.
Okay.
Next year.
Next year we'll
Next
talk
year,
about
Lon.
talk about that. We'll talk about The House by the Lake, because then we'll get into the movies that I really like, which are the psychological horror movies. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, no.
I liked Halloween. I liked Friday the 13th. The franchise I really like, but it's not really, wouldn't be considered necessarily Halloween, but it's Final Destination.
I don't like any of those.
See, I like those because they could happen. And the movies, the horror movies that I make, they could happen.
I don't like any of those.
Right? So
think
these are
they're
not
disturbing.
These are not, well, that's the point.
I don't want bodies
That's the
hacked
point.
up. I don't want to
like
see it. I
disturbing.
don't want people.
I think when you do
being
things that are
tortured,
disturbing,
suffering. I
you
don't like
make
any
a
of
better
that.
point. When you do things that are disturbing. Ow.
Point.
Point taken. Point taken. So, have you gotten to the polls and have you voted yet? That's what we want to know.
We did.
We did. Yeah, you saw our
voted.
pictures last week. We voted, and there were spiders on the courthouse.
And
It
you know
was
what's
great.
funny? The comments were like, "Oh, I hate spiders," and I'm like, "They're not real," but it still freaked people
There
out.
are big spiders on the courthouse.
But they're well, it's not the courthouse; it's City Hall.
I'm
There's a
sorry,
difference.
City Hall.
So,
But there's a courtroom in it.
no,
There is. We saw it upstairs.
honey, that's the Jefferson County Courthouse, where we voted. City Hall is municipal government, like your brother. It's a different thing.
I'm sorry. I know it's a different thing, but there are spiders on City Hall.
Yes.
On the courthouse, too. There are. They're right there.
I know, but the spiders.
The pictures we showed you with spiders, those were
But
on
that's okay.
City Hall. But
That's
I
all
was
good. But
just
Madison
saying
decorates
before I
everything.
was so interestingly and cutely interrupted that don't do it. There are indeed spiders on the courthouse
You're right.
as well. Say
And
that
on
again. I just
Central-
want to hear it.
You're right.
Gosh, that sounds good.
I love it when you're right. I don't want you to
Well,
not
then
be
you
right.
must have a good time all day.
Oh, and I do.
What do I say? You say, you're right. I said, of course I am. I recognize my voice.
So, this is the best time of year and we're having a ball. But this year is especially amazing because we're about to elect a president.
Yes, we are.
So that's
Again.
that's on everyone's mind.
Again, it's been
Every
such.
4 years we
Did
do
you?
this.
Yes, but I mean we're about to elect a president again.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a president in the history of our
Yes.
country that skipped a term?
Yes, Grover Cleveland.
Grover?
Yes.
Grover? Grover.
Grover Cleveland won, and then he lost to Benjamin Harrison, who's an Indiana guy, by the way. And then Grover Cleveland won again. He's the only one to do it.
Really?
So hopefully Donald Trump will be the second guy to do it. Let's hope. 45 and 47.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
We
And I
shall
still say, especially if you watch the Madison Square Garden thing, it's
Wow.
amazing to me that when you watch that, what the opposition had to have really thought when they watched that was,
We're
oh my
toast.
God, we're toast. We're toast. Look at these people. Look
We're
at the
toast.
joy. Look at the joy in the room. But the next day, we're driving down the road, we're listening to Newsmax, and
And they're showing it.
they're saying,
A
"Oh, it was a
Nazi
trash
rally."
can
No.
fire, a dumpster
that
fire.
guy. I
It
don't
was
know who
this."
that guy was,
and
but-
and
I mean,
how can you? And then today, I saw this wonderful thing came across my Facebook, and I'm still getting a whole lot of pro Harris. Walls? How do you, Walls?
I think
Anyway,
they say Walls.
the stolen valor non-coach guy. I'm getting still some stuff, positive about them, which is getting harder and harder to find or to fabricate. But this one guy said, this is the man that they want us to hate. And they showed Donald Trump in 3 different places talking to little children. And just being the grandpa that he is, because we know Donald Trump Jr. I've met Eric. I've done Laura's podcast a whole bunch of times. And I met Donald Trump, but years and years ago. But here he is being a really cool, loving, caring, obviously heartfelt grandpa to other people's children. Where's your mommy? Where's your daddy? And it's great. And then you juxtapose that with Joe Biden, who obviously is not running anymore, which I think is too bad because that would be an absolutely easy win. But sniffing children,
oh, God,
it was
really?
just awful. The video, just look it up. It's just awful. And the look on these kids' face like, oh.
Well, he's not running because they put him to the side.
Well, and I think what bully for Donald Trump for pointing that out, because he said, look, I don't like Joe Biden any more than he likes me. But they did a successful coup. They just decided,
real.
these people who say that we and you, if you're on our political side, and I hate that there are sides. There's supposed to be differences of opinion, but not anymore. Right now, there are sides.
It's
Make no
vicious.
mistake about it.
People are
This
vicious.
this is a choice between communism and liberty. Period. Forget democracy and I mean, we know we live in a republic and a constitutional
Or
republic.
they don't want to.
We know that. We know that democracy is part of that. But this is liberty. This is what we are fighting for now, is the right to pursue opportunity in any fashion we feel, in whatever it is we want to be. Opportunity, Kamala is talking about opportunity basically being given free stuff to people who don't know how or don't want to work for it.
Or non-Americans.
Or not, my God, how in the
See,
world
that's
how can
no.
anybody be in favor of that?
No.
Unless you want to cheat. Because
I mean, and
like
John
we said
and I
last week,
make
if
the
you
wrong
don't have to
turn.
prove who you are, then you can vote in as many states as you want.
But think about it. We did a show in El Paso. Think about if we made a wrong turn. Let's just go to Mexico, and then we corral. We try to vote there. Are you kidding me? We'd be in jail forever.
Well, exactly.
Forever.
And we've been in we've been in 6 or 7 states in the last 10, 12 days. A lot of them you could early vote.
And we just
So
got a job
could-
offer
could
in
you
Canada,
just-
and we're like, maybe
could you-
not. We don't want to.
Right. Could you just walk in to any voting place and say, gosh, I don't have my license. That's all right. Come on in.
Never.
My name is John Schneider. Okay, great.
Never.
Love your show. Oh, terrific. And
Or
go
Canada,
go somewhere
or
else. Go to
France,
another state. Say,
or
hey, my name is
nowhere.
Bill Schneider. I don't have my license. That's all right. Come on in.
Yeah, you think
So-
they're going to let us vote in France or Spain or Portugal or England? No.
Oh my God,
Never.
no.
And we don't want to. We don't want to. We're
No, because
Americans.
we have not studied. We don't know what the culture or what the desires of the people of that country are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think pretty simply, the Democrats put policy over people, and the Republicans put people over policy. If the current policy is not in favor of the people, if it does not provide an opportunity for the people who want to do better, then we don't want this policy. But if it does, then let's do everything we can to pass it. Conversely, I do believe that the Democrats are all about, look, the people will do what we tell them. We are going to pass the bills. We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that government is as strong and as big as it can be. And that, to me, is a total violation of everything this country was founded upon. And God bless Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
So excited.
He's so excited.
The black MAGA hats. You got to love it.
Darth, did he
You
call
know,
him, what is it,
I
Darth
don't
MAGA
know,
or
but-
Darth MAGA? I think it was Darth.
Oh,
It's
really?
hard with his accent. I think he was like, but what's so great about him is, and by the way, what are we drinking today?
Angel's Envy.
This is Angel's Envy. We want to thank our buddy Wes Henderson for, not for this
Making
bottle,
it,
but
for
for
creating
making
it.
Angel's Envy possible at all. And if you have a chance, go to Versailles to go see the
Kentucky.
castle in Kentucky. And, excuse me, if you drink, have yourself some wonderful bourbon. If you don't, have yourself a fantastic, clear, beautiful Kentucky glass of water and some of the finest food you're going to have anywhere at the
And
restaurant there.
If you're there November 9th, you can see a comedy show at the Woodford Club.
That's right.
It'll be really good. It'll be fun and funner.
Fun and
And
funner.
funny.
She was kind of hesitant to do the show. Oh, I don't want to do the show because, I just want to support you. And I said, well, I want to support you too. This is a two-way street.
So John's very good
Right.
about that. So he said, no, I want to support you. I want to go. Why do
And I
have
don't want to be backstage. I want to be out front laughing and
You
going,
will.
oh my
Of
God,
course
did
you
she
will.
just say that? Yeah, did she just say that?
You'll probably jump in a golf cart.
Probably, well, I don't know. So anyway, we're very excited about the election. We're excited about Elon Musk because I can't remember who it was that asked him the question. But there's, I think currently, if this is an inaccurate number, then forgive me. But the number I heard was currently it costs $6 trillion a year
Terrible.
to run our government. And they said, as what would he be?
What do you mean?
because he's going to be part of the cabinet. He's
Oh,
going
who
to
knows? Who knows?
Well, but he'll be
He
in
doesn't
charge.
have to be anything. He
No,
can
but
just be an
he'll be in
advisor.
charge of cutting the fat from the government budget. And he said, I'd have to really look at it, but right off the bat, I don't see any reason
I mean,
why
Secretary
we
of
can't.
Commerce does the, that's the business
Right.
side. But it could be a.
But he said, without giving it a whole lot of thought, I believe I can cut $2 trillion out of that budget. Because you got to think about this. When you hear about the government wanting to bail out student loans, where does that money come from? The government is not a person. The government does not make any money. The government only has money because it takes it from us.
What about those of us who
Our
paid
tax
a heck of a
dollars.
lot of money for student loans?
Yeah, what about the folks who
lot
paid?
of money.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing they do with yep, something's going on here. Thank God for our fire department. Thank God for our police.
you, guys.
We love our first responders. We love our men and women in blue. And sometimes it's tan, whatever color your police officers wear. We love them, support them every opportunity you get. But back to the other. He said he could cut that out of there. So when the reason why the Democrats have to raise taxes is not to go do wonderful things in western North Carolina and Georgia and Virginia and Florida. It's so that they can continue to pay more government to do nothing. And I'm not saying all government workers do nothing. Please don't take it that way. But there is an awful lot of fat on that bone. So if we get rid of that, then taxes can come down. And if we do tariffs, I love what President Trump was saying about we will give interest on a car bought in the United States that was manufactured and made, not just manufactured, because the parts can come from other places. Got to think it through. You don't have to pay tax on the interest on that loan. That's fantastic. No tax on tips. That's fantastic. Of course, Kamala is trying to say that that was her idea now. No. Also, no tax on overtime. And they say that President Trump is all about the billionaires. Well, I'll tell you what. Number one, the billionaires are the ones that started the companies from nothing. Sam Walton had a little bitty, Sam, God rest your soul, had a little bitty store somewhere that turned into Walmart. But it's the billionaires that had the dream, that had the balls to go for it, that wind up hiring people who wind up doing what? Paying taxes. Okay? So billionaires are not getting charged taxes. Okay? It's a silly, silly
They
argument.
pay most of the taxes.
Yes, they do.
So
But
we
they're not
have
worried
jobs.
about tips. Billionaires don't get tips. So they're not supporting Donald Trump because there's going to be no tax on tips. Elon Musk is not supporting Donald Trump because he won't have to pay taxes on his overtime check. Give me an ever-loving freaking break. Everything that comes out of their mouth about us is bullshit. There, I said it. I'm going to say it again. Everything they say about us is bullshit.
So what's going on at the store, honey? The
At
store.
johnschneider.shop?
Yeah.
Well, we have a new. I have added a couple of special features to the. Thank you for asking. The To Die For DVD, and it's a lot of people have filmmakers have some sort of a problem with some of the green screen stuff that I did in the movie. But so I explained to you why I did what I did, for what reason I did what I did, and how I am so excited that I figured out how to do that. There's some things in the movie To Die For that if you knew how they were done, and now you will, then I think you'll be kind of amazed. So there's that. There's also a wonderful album that Tom Wopat and I did, called Home for Christmas. We did it a number of years ago. And by the way, you can watch a concert if you go to Cineflix. I'll put the thing right down there because I don't want to get it wrong. It's been changed lately. I think it's Cineflix 01. I'll put it in the right there. And I'll put it in the link so you can just click there. But there's a concert that Tom and I did in the barn back at John Schneider Studios that has a bunch of this music in it, and it's fantastic. So we'll have that CD. I only have 150 of them that are signed by both Tom and I. The rest of them will either be no signature or just my signature. I have 500. That's it. That's all I got. So that's exciting. We're also going to put together a package with Christmas cards and jingle smells and Merry Christmas Baby, and probably Recycling Grace. So it's going to be some really cool stuff. We are done now with the Bose Dollar General Store sale. Bose Dollar General sale.
Tell our friends about that, because you did the $5. How did that go?
I did five. Well, but that's too late now. It's over.
No. But it went well, though, right?
Oh, it went great.
John gave a huge discount to friends and fans, and like $5.
Like
then
Mike
4,
Lindell,
then
only
3,
better,
then
only
2,
better.
Then 1.
I didn't do one. We didn't get to one.
Oh.
No, we didn't get to one. We ran out of time.
Oh, ran out of stuff.
Ran out of stuff because
right?
the sales worked so well.
That's right. People were
we
saying
ran out of
it's all
stuff.
gone.
Yep.
Okay.
So you could get 5 things for $5, and then the sale
Amazing.
went
Nobody does
5
that.
things for $4 each,
That's like
and
the
then 5 for 3 and 5
1930s
for 2.
or 40s.
Yeah.
People don't do
Yeah,
that.
it was really great.
I thought that was great. You did that.
I thought so too, because I want to thank people for supporting the store. It's been the last couple of years have been tough and amazing at the same time, right? Which is interesting. It's interesting that you can be not torn, but how your soul and your heart can handle heartache and joy at the same time. We are remarkably and wonderfully formed. And so if you out there are on the road, this is all I'm going to say. One thing, if you are out there on the road, we just met, Dee Dee just met a friend of mine who she's been a widow for 11 years.
And we think we may have hooked her up. That was my idea.
It was her idea. It was her idea.
We'll find out.
We want people to be happy. We want people to experience joy. God wants people. He designed people to be joyful.
And remember, we recommended your musical friend, I won't say the name, that does all that wonderful background music, and he was crying and upset and like totally. And I'm like, and he said, well, but there is this woman I was friends with. I said, go. These mean people who are like, well, it's not been long enough. That's not for you to judge.
They don't know anything.
That's not for you to judge. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 50 years. That's up to you.
Right, because how long is long enough to wake up in the morning and be bummed that you didn't die in your sleep? I mean, come on. No, that's a downer.
But when you're grieving, a day is like a year.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really hard. It's hard.
Oh my God.
It's really hard.
So long. So the one thing I told our friend that you just met, because what people say is, we're so happy that you were able to find love again. Well, I didn't find it. And you didn't find it. It found us. We weren't expecting this. We didn't even want this. Right?
No, not the time.
No.
No.
So when laughter
but
happened,
but then when we met, we could kind of tell. Okay, didn't really want to accept, but it was there. So, but I think that's fate. I think that's God. I think that's the heavens. I think that's all kinds of things that work in your favor. If you're a good person and you give love, it'll come back to you.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you're sad, even when you're grieving, if you can, I have to tell you, and I've said this before, Madison took care of me.
Oh yeah, she has wonderful. Well, now we have wonderful friends.
Yeah,
here. It's really
I
great.
was so sad all the time, and they took care of me. And now I have you, meant to be.
See there. Mm-hmm.
But happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Oh, you said it right.
I did that for you.
Okay,
'cause I
quickly.
love
We
you.
only have we got a little bit of time here left. We are going to. I've been writing on the Earls of Perry. That's been a lot of fun. We do need to get the cars here, so we need to find a place.
Yeah.
We need to find a place
We
in
do.
Madison where we can store 10 cars.
Yeah, we do.
And
We'll get on that.
it'll be our transportation department for the Earls of Perry. Sometime in the next couple days, I am going to go out and shoot plates and beautiful stuff as the leaves are changing here that we will, in fact, use in the show later. But we're not going to be able to film the show until spring. Right? Yeah, because you just say it's too cold and it's too dark and it's just
tough.
too...
It's tough. It starts to get cold and dark. Well, you know, because daylight savings times come in right around the corner, and it gets dark quickly.
Right. But
In
we
the
are
holler.
working on
It's
Luke.
in a holler.
Luke
It's
at the
holler country.
Right. Luke at the store has worked on some license plates. It'll be plates that'll be on the cars.
Yeah, you should
we
talk
are
about
going
the
to be-
merchandise is coming
We are
for
going to be
Earls of
talking.
Perry.
I am right now. If you just stop. So we're going to be having license plates for that. We're also talking to a couple of die-cast car companies, and also to, and this is very exciting because I was a big Hot Wheels guy when I was a kid. We're also going to be talking to Hot Wheels about the possibility of them doing a little Hot Wheel of the General Jackson.
I'm going to Vegas in February.
But
to
you
the
know,
Hot Wheels
here's
show.
where I'm shooting myself in the foot here. Nobody ever made a T-top Challenger, so to have, if I didn't have T-tops, people make plenty of Challengers. I could just have it painted a different color and put stickers on it. But I think it needs to be unique and unusual. And in the story, at one point in the show, I flipped the car and I scraped the roof basically off, or I dented up pretty bad. And my niece,
I'm looking at how much time we have. That's
Dixie, my niece, Dixie, says since it was so messed up, I decided to put T-tops in it. That's going to be our version of like Happy Birthday General Lee. It'll be Happy Birthday
great.
General Jackson. Yeah, but doing the T-tops is going to be a pain in the butt.
Why?
Because you know these are little bitty cars, and they don't. The only
right,
T-top
yeah, that would
little
be
bitty
a-
cars that exist are the Smokey and the Bandit cars, which are Pontiacs. So it's
So
not
what's
a
that got to do with
Challenger.
it?
What?
What's that got to do with it?
You so pretty. What that has to do with it is that they're going to have to make new molds and new everything. Also, when we make the cars, we have two of them. We're going to use two that I already have, and we have a third one now. When we cut the T-tops in the actual full-size cars, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the headliner that has to be altered. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to get around that.
You'll
But
figure
we
it out,
will.
though. You're
Well,
so
somebody
crea-
else will
You're
figure
so
it out.
creative.
Well, yeah,
And by the
somebody
way,
else is
John
going to have to do
earlier
this.
was working on our deck. That's where we are right now, and we love doing the show from here.
Look
and
at it,
and
so
in Madison, it's so beautiful, and there's a lot to do here to make it our own. And we're just having a ball. And I just wanted to thank all of you, and any suggestions you have for names for the show, ideas for the show, and I'm talking about Earls of Perry, but also
Oh, storylines for the show, yeah.
yeah, but also we would love to know, what would you like to see in the store? Is there something that's not in the store that you would love to buy or love to see? Or,
Yeah, pocket knives.
Yeah. What do you want?
More
What would
hats,
be
different
good?
kind of hats.
Because, every week we talk about what should we do at the store.
Yeah,
That's a lot
and
of
what
fun.
topics should we cover on the show? I think
Of
that'd
course.
be great too.
And of course, that's the grand finale. What topics on our show, this show, would you like us to talk about? And yes, we've been very heavy on the season because it's our favorite season, and we love Madison and
Yep.
the election. So next week, those are all kind of moving on. So
Well, next week we'll have like what day is it? It's Tuesday, right? So the show comes out on Thursday. Next week, oh no,
It's
the
election
election will
day.
have been done.
Yeah. So things
So
will
it's
be
next
different.
Tuesday in life that is election day.
I mean, post-election, a presidential election, and then we always say it's a big one. This is really a big one, obviously.
Right.
So, because the lines are drawn so deep and dark that it's just huge. The
Yeah.
difference is huge. There's no way to say it any other way. That people are going to be very happy and very angry. So we'll see.
I
what
think
happens with
when
that.
I think President Trump is going to win. I think our side is going to win. It is the side of common sense. It is the side of people who actually work for a living. It is the side of people who do not like that it costs $28,000, or they've spent $28,000 more on just living than they did 4 years ago. Also, something I think about a lot is how do you feel as far as safe in your community, in our country. I've never really been concerned about war here on our soil. But with 21 or 22 or 16 or 30, I keep hearing so many different numbers, when so many different foreign nationals illegally coming into our country, there's a good possibility that we could have war here.
Well, I hate to bring this up,
but that won't happen with Donald Trump as president. I think it would happen with her as president.
At the very end of the show, but I will, because I woke up and it was scary. They were talking about doing drills at the White House with helicopters, and maybe it was fake. I don't know. But they were talking about how, like, oh, some said they do it every year, and others said, no, they don't, about getting ready for what happens if Donald Trump wins and what they will do.
Well, they're going to come unglued. Talk about not admitting
martial law,
a peaceful transference of power.
But saying that they were not going to accept it. And there is a member of Congress, I can't remember his name, I don't know why, but he said he's like, we are not going to accept that. It will not happen.
How about that? These are the ones that are saying that we're the bad guys because we didn't accept. All we wanted was for them to go through. We had a legitimate question. There are enough people that thought the election in 2020 was unfair, was unrigged, and was not done under the laws of the Constitution. There was enough people that asked that question, and enough elected people who asked that question, that there was every reason for Mike Pence to hold off on it until the question was answered.
He went to my college right up the road.
But no, he didn't. And guess whose name we haven't heard in a long time? Thank you very next. Mike Pence. You did it to yourself. Anyway, I think when we win, and I believe we will win, that it is going to be a storm because they will not accept it.
Well, again, I don't know if it's
even
true.
Though they know that Kamala Harris could not legitimately run for dog catcher in any town in this country and win.
They don't care.
And Tim, my God.
They don't care. It's
what
about
a
power.
joke. I know, but they're
we'll
not kidding
they're
anybody.
They're fortifying the White House and putting like this.
Oh, because walls don't work. Remember that? Remember walls don't work, and the first thing they did was put a wall up around the White House? Around the Capitol. Around the Capitol. Walls don't work. Well, then, Nancy, why don't you just move into a non-gated community? How about that? How about you, Gavin? Do you live in a gated community? I think you do. What about you, Kamala?
And they have protection.
Do you live in a gated
them.
community?
And they have protection around them all the time. They have hired guns.
Gosh, you remember that one embarrassing woman that was against walls and against the police? She was all for defunding the police, but she said, of course, I have protection because, I'm important and I have important things to do. What was that word that just disgusted me so much during the COVID thing? Some businesses were essential. The liquor store was open, and the terrible thing to end on here, I believe the strip clubs were open, but the churches were forced to close.
Well, what bothered me more than, the churches, that was really bad, but what bothers me is the big box stores. They really don't need the help. I mean, they're doing great. The big box stores were allowed to stay open, but the mom and pops, they shut them down.
Yep.
And destroyed many of them, and many never recovered. Terrible.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to end with this. How many people would rather actually go through a line and talk to a person when you check out of a store? They're even doing it at McDonald's. We saw it at McDonald's. They're doing it at little stores, too. It's like convenience stores, gas stations, where you don't even talk to a person anymore.
Well, this is how we
how is that helping unemployment?
This is how we can end on a good note, a happy note.
Happy note.
Let's all go to the mom and pop stores and get everything we can and support mom and pops because they work so hard, and that's the American dream, and that's how we do it in the United States of America. And also go vote.
Go vote.
Yay, go USA.
Support local
USA.
everything. Support local everything. Whenever I go to a place, I don't drink that much beer anymore. I used to drink beer, but I'd say, what's your local beer? Now I'll say, what's your local whiskey?
But
I want to drink, I want to support local
businesses.
Not just philanthropy, local dreams
Community.
and goals. Also want to support local philanthropy. Want to do that too.
But here's the other thing. It's so hard to buy American hopefully with Donald Trump that will change, where it's
Yes.
easy to designate what are American products and what are not.
When a stick of
It's
gum
tough.
costs $5 if it came from China, or 5 cents if it came from Madison, guess what I'm chewing? Woohoo!
And Donald Trump
Oh.
is wanting to do that to put tariffs on everything, so buying American is easier and less expensive. Go USA.
Yeah. And tariffs were one of the reasons why the Civil War was fought.
That's another show.
Because big government had tariffs like 30%, 40% on other things. And guess what they didn't have in the South? Tariffs. Guess
Happy
who that pissed off?
Halloweener.
Happy Halloween!
And then
we
happy
hope you have a wonderful
Thanksgiving
time.
next.
Well, we're going to talk to them before then.
I know that, but I'm just getting ahead of the game.
Remember, it's the pumpkin, the turkey,
Turkey.
and the fat man in the red suit. Okay,
right.
the pumpkin, the turkey, and the reindeer. In that order. Don't mix them up. Okay, you take care. This has been Drinks with Dee Dee.
Yay! And John, I love you. Give me a smooch. Mwah.
It has been. Ooh, I hate that word.
You're not a has-been.
Or is it 2 words?
No,
Has been.
you're
Anyhow.
not either.
We'll see you. Isn't it beautiful? Bye.